currently retesting a critical area on the chart and also still playing out this short-term bullish divergence, and more liquidations could likely be coming very soon, while Ethereum is now flashing a new signal we need to pay attention to and also playing out this short-term bullish divergence. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, taking a look at the 4-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the Bollinger Bands are still squeezing together, pointing towards a major move coming at some point within the next few weeks, most likely based on these previous signals. And when I'm talking about a volatile move, I'm talking about a massive move visible on this chart, the 4-day time frame. So these are usually 20 to 30% moves or even bigger. And as of right now, if we're looking at the Bollinger Bands width indicator, this is still trading sideways, which means the next major volatile move has not even started. And so ultimately on these larger time frames here, when we're zooming out, we're still within a massive sideways consolidation that is during a much larger bullish trend, similar to what we saw right here. And of course, what we saw right here during around mid-2023, so roughly around exactly 1 year ago at the same time of the year, we saw a lot of short-term bearish price action and short-term bullish price action for quite a few months before we eventually continued the bull market later on. And if you want me to make a detailed prediction about the current bull cycle in crypto and Bitcoin, and if you want me to talk about basically where I think the bull market could top out at and where the next bear market could begin and the next altcoin season, all of that, then let me know in the comment section down below, because I'll be sure to make that video if you guys want it. But with that being said, taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, there's still a possibility that this potential inverse head and shoulders pattern could complete and confirm. But ultimately, in order for this to actually confirm, we need to see a move very quickly, potentially in the next few days, over the next week or so, back up towards this neckline, which is sitting at around 71.7k. But ultimately, in order to confirm this pattern and confirm this bullish price target at around 86 to 87,000, in order to actually confirm that, we need to see a confirmed breakout above this neckline, and ideally we need to confirm that with a 3-day candle close, and ideally above 73 to 74,000 to be more confident that we're actually flipping much more bullish here on the 3-day chart, which obviously as of right now has not happened. And so once again, as I've been saying this entire time, this is a pattern to pay attention to as it is potentially forming, but as of right now, it is not yet confirmed at all. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart right here, over the last 1 day, the DXY has been closed for trading, which basically means we have no new updates in the DXY. So of course, over the last 1 week or so, we've seen that spike to the upside in the DXY, which has been a bearish signal for Bitcoin over the last 1 week or so. And obviously during that time, we have seen a short-term pullback in the price of Bitcoin as expected. But if you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video here on the channel to find out more about this chart. And with that being said, taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, and as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is coming in for a retesting this critical area on the chart, which was previous support and previous resistance, sitting in between around 67 to 68,000. And that's also an area where we have a lot of traded volume. If we're looking at the volume profile indicator right here, we have a lot of traded volume in that same price range, showing strong resistance around that area. And so ultimately, in order to flip bullish again in the short term, to expect basically this pullback to be over, we need to first see a confirmed breakout back above at least 68,000 in order to expect any more bullish price action back up towards this resistance right here at around 72 to 74,000. But once again, as of right now, we have not yet confirmed to break out back above 68,000. So this area in between 67 to 68k is still the strong area of resistance to pay attention to, at least in the short term. And as for support, in case we see some sort of rejection from this resistance and we continue that short-term pullback, we do have a lot of supports based on previous resistance and support in this price range, sitting in between around 63 to 64,000. And we also have a decent amount of traded volume in that same price range acting as support. And you can notice here in the VPVR indicator, the volume profile indicator, that there's actually a gap in the traded volume right here that starts at around 66,000 and basically ends at around 64,000. which basically means in that area, if we confirm a break below around 66,000, we could potentially see a quick move down towards around 64,000, because usually where we have little traded volume, the price moves relatively quickly, like what we saw right here. And so simply based on the volume profile indicator, the imminent level of support is at around 66,000. But if that level breaks, then expect to move potentially down towards around 64,000. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see obviously right now we're in a weekend, which means we have relatively low volatility. Of course, we're seeing some short-term bullish and bearish price action, but ultimately it's relatively low volatility compared to what we've seen during the weeks on the weekdays. And of course, this is to be expected because almost always when we have a weekend, we have relatively low volatility. But like I said, over the last couple of days, we have a bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, which means instead of just plain sideways price action, we could likely see a slight bullish relief over the weekend due to this bullish divergence, which is now playing out exactly as expected. And while this bullish divergence is playing out potentially over the rest of the weekend, maybe even into the early week, we could likely see the price of Bitcoin grab this area of liquidity to liquidate a lot of these short positions right here. And this area of liquidity starts mainly at around 67.3K and goes up towards around 67.9K. So basically around 67 to 68,000, we have a lot of liquidity in that area. And obviously that area of liquidity is also coinciding with this area of resistance. So once again, it's possible that the price could perhaps retest that area to grab a lot of that liquidity and then perhaps find resistance around that area, perhaps reject from that area. And so that is a likely scenario in the short term, a little bit more of a bounce to grab that liquidity, but that is not necessarily enough by itself to fully confirm the end of this pullback. In order to confirm that, we need to confirm a strong breakout above 68,000, which once again, as of right now, has not happened. And while we're waiting for the next trading opportunity, obviously it's important to get set up, ready to go on an exchange, ready to take the next trading opportunity. And personally, I like to trade over on Bybit, so I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link below this video, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position, which is a limited time, by the way. This has only a couple days to go to claim this position. And so if you want to claim this free 200 USDT position airdrop, all you have to do is make a Bybit account using that link, make a deposit and claim the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And if we're taking a quick look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now we're still bouncing right around this retracement level, this Fibonacci level, which was sitting at around 3470 to 3480. And of course, we did find support closer towards this 50% retracement level, sitting at around 3350 approximately, which is very close to where we actually bounced from. And so on the daily time frame right here, not much has really changed over the last one day. These levels are all still the same. And if we're taking a look at this 12-hour time frame, like I said in my last video, the price of ETH is basically consolidating sideways, chopping around sideways in between this short-term support level and this short-term area of resistance. First of all, this retracement level acting as support is sitting at around 3450, and this golden pocket area of resistance is sitting in between around 3.6K to 3650, once again acting as resistance. And so at least in the imminent short term, we're looking relatively neutral, at least at the moment, especially over the weekend. I'll not be expecting any major movements just over the weekend. But for example, if we actually see a confirmed breakout back above around 3650, then in that case, obviously just in the imminent short term, that would be a bullish signal to watch out for. And so if that actually happens, then we could perhaps see a move back up towards around 3.8K to 3.9K, which in that area right there, we have a lot of resistance. And if we're taking a look at the 12-hour Ethereum RSI, just recently over the last couple of days, this got very close to oversold territories. And the last couple of times this has happened in the 12-hour Ethereum RSI, we've actually seen a local low put in place in the price action. Not necessarily the bottom of the short-term pullback or short-term bearish trend, but at least some sort of local low before we experience a bit of a bounce back to the upside, perhaps over the next few days. And so that is what we could likely see just in the short term, possibly over the next few days. Once again, a little bit of a bounce, basically a relief from this short term pullback, but not necessarily the complete end of the short term pullback, possibly just a pause or a break from the pullback before continuing the pullback later on. That is a possible scenario based on what we've seen when this signal has flashed in the past. And with that being said, taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, as of right now, this short-term bullish divergence is still playing out exactly as expected, because like I've been saying since all the way back down here, we do have a bullish divergence with lower lows in the price in the candle closes and higher lows in the 4-hour Ethereum RSI, which means over the next few days, we're likely going to see either a slight bullish relief or at least some choppy sideways price action as the most likely outcomes. Basically, just for the next couple of days, I would not really be expecting a massive pullback to continue just for the next couple of days once again, while this bullish divergence is now playing out in the imminent short term. And if we're taking a look at ETH BTC, this is Ethereum versus Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and at least as of right now, despite the very short-term bounce in ETH BTC, we have not yet broken from the massive bearish trend, because at least as of right now, we're technically still seeing lower highs and lower lows form on this chart, which is indeed a bearish trend, technically speaking. And so in order to flip more bullish on this chart and actually expect more of a bullish reversal for ETH BTC, basically in order to expect Ethereum to begin massively outperforming Bitcoin, we need to first see at least a confirmed breakout above this massive descending line of resistance, and ideally above some previous highs here to further be confident that we're actually flipping more bullish, which obviously as of right now has not happened. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, at least for now, we're still finding a lot of support in the short term around this area of support. Like I've been saying here recently on the channel, we have a lot of support in between around 140 to 144 approximately. And so that is still the short-term area of support to pay attention to. But if, for example, we start seeing candle closes, basically a confirmed break below 140, then in that case, we could likely see a move back down towards around 128, which is where the next area of support begins. And that area starts from around 128 and goes down towards around 120. Because ultimately, even though the price has stopped going to the downside in the short term as we are running into support right now, of course, we have not yet technically invalidated this short-term bearish trend. So technically speaking, we could still be within this short-term bearish trend or pullback. It's just in the imminent short term, we're taking a bit of a pause from that bearish trend, just like how during a short-term bullish trend, we can see some short-term pullbacks along the way. And as for resistance, we do still have a lot of resistance at around $160 and more resistance in between 170 to 175 in case we saw any further bounce back to the upside. But once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, no matter what direction they go, then make sure to check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses on those exchanges. And if you want to know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions and short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.